Have you ever felt like your mind is a stormy sea, with thoughts and emotions crashing against each other, leaving you drained and unclear about your direction? Imagine for a moment that you could calm those waves, not just to get more done, but to open a portal to a deeper level of consciousness that most people never even glimpse. This isn't a gimmick or a fleeting productivity trick. It's a shift into what I like to call the quantum state of mental clarity. When we talk about mental clarity, most people think of clean desks, to-do lists, or a moment of focus before a deadline. Those tools can certainly help, but they treat the symptom rather than the source. The true state I'm describing goes beyond surface-level efficiency. It is a profound detachment from the emotional turbulence that fuels the brain's storm in the frontal lobes. A quieting of the electrical frenzy that keeps us stuck in endless loops of worry and self-criticism. By the end of this journey, you'll see how to step out of that loop, why it matters, and how to access a mind that feels both still and infinitely aware. First, let's unpack what mental clarity really means. At its core, it is the ability to see thoughts as they arise without being swept away by them. It reduces the mental fog that clouds judgment, allowing focus to sharpen like a laser beam. When clarity is present, emotional turmoil recedes, and you can make decisions with confidence. Creativity flows more freely, and stress loses its grip. Traditional methods like caffeine, multitasking, or short bursts of meditation often provide only temporary relief because they don't address the underlying attachment to the endless chatter of the mind. They treat the surface without calming the storm inside. Now, let's look at the science behind this quantum state. Neuroscience tells us that under high stress, the frontal lobes light up with rapid, chaotic electrical activity, a phenomenon sometimes described as an electric storm. This storm amplifies fear, doubt, and the habit loops that keep us stuck. When we achieve deep emotional detachment, the brain shifts into a calmer rhythm, engaging networks that are associated with insight, intuition, and a sense of spacious awareness. In that quiet zone, the brain's default mode network can communicate with deeper layers of subconscious processing, essentially turning down the volume on the storm and turning up the signal of inner wisdom. The mystical angle adds another layer to this picture. When we deliberately empty the mind of everyday complaints, the usual mental traffic that clogs our consciousness begins to dissolve. Think of it as clearing a foggy window. Suddenly, you can see the landscape beyond. That landscape is the subconscious mind, an expansive field that operates on a level of intelligence that feels almost interdimensional. People who have tapped into this space report sudden breakthroughs in creativity. A painter who finds a new palette without trying, a scientist who sees a solution to a stubborn problem in a dream, or an entrepreneur who intuitively knows the next step for a venture. It's as if the mind, once freed from the noise, connects to a deeper well of knowledge that is always present but rarely accessed. What do you think is the biggest barrier to achieving this state of mental clarity in your daily life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious about the challenges you face and how you've tried to overcome them. So, how can you start moving toward this quantum state? The first step is to cultivate a practice of mindful observation. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and notice each thought as a passing cloud, refusing to engage or judge. When emotions arise, label them anger, fear, excitement without attaching a story. This labeling creates a tiny distance, a moment of detachment that weakens the storm's grip. Consistency is key. Even 5 minutes a day, practice daily, builds the neural pathways that support a calmer frontal lobe. Complement this with brief periods of deliberate emptiness. Set a timer for a few minutes and simply allow the mind to be empty, resisting the urge to fill it with background noise. Over time, you'll notice that the mind returns to a state of quiet more naturally, and the portal to the subconscious begins to stay ajar. Picture someone who has walked this path, a former corporate executive who, after years of burnout, embraced this practice. Within weeks, he reported that his mental chatter quieted. His decision-making felt effortless, and ideas that once seemed out of reach started surfacing in moments of stillness. He described the experience as stepping out of a crowded room into a vast open field, where every thought was visible but not overwhelming. That transformation illustrates the power of entering the quantum state. It changes not just productivity, but the very way you experience reality. If this resonated with you and you're ready to start your own journey toward the quantum state of mental clarity, consider subscribing for more insights on mindfulness and personal growth. Smash that like button if you feel the shift already, and let's support each other in cultivating a clearer, more profound mind. And as you begin to notice those subtle shifts, you may find yourself asking deeper questions about the nature of thought itself. What does it mean to be a witness to the mind rather than its captive? In this space of quiet observation, the usual narrative that binds us to past regrets and future anxieties starts to loosen, allowing a new kind of freedom to emerge. Imagine walking through a forest at dawn, the mist lifting slowly, revealing the path ahead with crystal clarity. That same sensation can be cultivated within your own mental landscape when you practice the art of purposeful detachment. One of the most powerful ways to deepen this practice is to integrate what I like to call the threefold pause. The first pause is a breath pause. Inhale slowly, feel the cool air fill your lungs, hold for a moment, and then exhale gently, releasing any tension that may be lodged in the chest. The second pause is a thought pause. When a mental image or a worry surfaces, simply note its presence without diving into its storyline. You might say to yourself, "Thought appears," and then let it drift away like a leaf on a river. The third pause is an emotion pause. Acknowledge the feeling. Name it, perhaps anger, perhaps curiosity, then let it settle without attaching a verdict or a plot. By practicing this triad of pauses regularly, you are training the frontal lobe to respond with calm rather than with the electrical storm that typically fuels anxiety and distraction. Beyond the pauses, another technique that aligns closely with the quantum metaphor is what I refer to as the mental vacuum. This is not about forcing the mind into emptiness, but rather about creating a temporary space where mental chatter is gently set aside, allowing the deeper layers of consciousness to surface. To begin, set a gentle timer for a few minutes, perhaps 5 minutes at first, and sit with your eyes closed. As thoughts arise, imagine them as tiny bubbles in a vast ocean. Observe them and then let them rise to the surface and pop, returning to the calm depth below. Over time, you will notice that the mind begins to naturally gravitate toward that still point, and the portal to the subconscious remains ajar more often than not. It is also helpful to incorporate sensory grounding into your routine. When the mind feels restless, bring your attention to the simple sensations of your body. The feel of the floor beneath your feet, the texture of the fabric against your skin, the temperature of the air on your face. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you diminish the pull of mental narratives that tend to amplify stress. This grounding can be combined with a subtle mantra, something as simple as stillness or release, repeated silently in rhythm with your breath. The mantra acts as a gentle beacon, guiding the mind back to the center whenever it begins to drift. Now, let us explore the mysterious realm that opens when the mind is quiet. In many ancient traditions, the subconscious is described as a well of infinite wisdom, a reservoir that holds answers before the conscious mind has even formed the question. When you clear away the clutter of daily drama, you create a channel through which this deeper intelligence can flow. Think of it as turning off the static on a radio. Suddenly, the faint melody that was always there becomes audible. In that state, creative ideas often appear spontaneously, Solutions to problems surface without the usual slog of analytical thinking, and a sense of inner peace settles like a warm blanket. Consider the story of a painter who, after years of battling self-doubt, decided to adopt a daily practice of mindful emptiness. Each morning, she would sit in front of a blank canvas, close her eyes, and breathe, allowing thoughts to pass without interference. After a few weeks, she reported that colors seemed to choose her rather than the other way around. Shapes formed on the canvas without her consciously directing them. She described the experience as entering a collaborative dance with a hidden partner, an unseen guide that seemed to know exactly what the piece needed. This anecdote illustrates how accessing that subconscious channel can transform not only productivity, but the very nature of artistic expression. Similarly, a software engineer who was stuck on a particularly stubborn algorithm discovered that a brief period of mental stillness before bedtime unlocked a breakthrough. He recounted that after a night of quiet contemplation, scrolling, no problem, solving, just a few minutes of breath awareness, he awoke with a new perspective that made the solution obvious. He likened it to stepping back from a painting and suddenly seeing the missing brushstroke. These real-world examples underscore the practical power of the quantum state of mental clarity, but is not a mystical fantasy, but a tangible tool that can be applied across disciplines. If you find yourself skeptical, that is perfectly natural. The mind often resists the notion that silence can be productive because we have been conditioned to equate activity with value. Yet the evidence from neuroscience, as well as countless personal testimonies, points toward a different truth: that the brain's most innovative moments often arise when we give it space to reorganize, to let neural networks reconnect in fresh configurations. In the language of quantum physics, it is akin to particles existing in a superposition of possibilities until observation collapses them into a definitive state. By cultivating mental clarity, you become the observer who gently guides the collapse toward outcomes that serve your highest intentions. Let us now address a common obstacle that many encounter on this path: the persistent urge to fill silence with noise. In our modern world, we are surrounded by constant stimulating notifications, music, news feeds, all vying for our attention. When you sit in stillness, the temptation to reach for a phone or turn on a television can feel overwhelming. The key is to approach this urge with curiosity rather than judgment. Notice how the desire arises, label it as seeking distraction, and then allow it to pass. You might even set a gentle intention at the start of your practice: I will honor this time for myself, without external input. Over time, the mind learns that silence is not a void to be feared, but a fertile ground for inner growth. Another subtle barrier is the inner critic that whispers, "You're not doing it right," or "Your mind should be empty," not just quiet. This voice often stems from deep-seated beliefs about perfection and control. To work with it, imagine the critic as a separate character in a play, one whose role is to protect you from perceived danger. Acknowledge its presence, thank it for its concern, and then gently step out of the scene, returning to the role of the observer. By externalizing the critic, you diminish its power to disrupt your practice. Consistency, as mentioned earlier, is the backbone of any transformative habit. Think of it as building a bridge. Each day of practice adds a plank, and before you know it, you have a sturdy pathway across the turbulent waters of mental chaos. Even on days when you feel rushed, a brief pause of 1 minute can reinforce the neural pathways that support calmness. The brain is remarkably adaptable, and with regular reinforcement, the default mode can shift from hyper-reactivity to measured tranquility. Now, let us explore a more advanced technique that some call quantum visualization. This practice involves imagining yourself as a wave of pure potential, existing beyond the confines of linear time. Begin by settling into a comfortable posture, close your eyes and take several deep breaths. As you inhale, picture a luminous field expanding outward, encompassing all possibilities. As you exhale, envision any limiting beliefs or scattered thoughts dissolving into that field, becoming part of the universal flow. Maintain this visualization for several breaths, allowing a sense of boundless openness to permeate your awareness. This exercise can deepen the sense of connection to the interdimensional intelligence that resides within the subconscious, enhancing intuition and insight. You might wonder how to integrate these practices into a busy schedule without feeling overwhelmed. The answer lies in micro moments. Throughout the day, pause briefly before answering a phone call, before opening an email, or before stepping into a meeting. Use those seconds to take a conscious breath, label any immediate emotion, and set an intention to approach the upcoming task with clarity. Over time, these micro pauses accumulate, creating a rhythm of mindfulness that threads through your entire day. As you continue along this journey, you may begin to notice subtle shifts in how you relate to external events. A traffic jam that once provoked irritation may now be seen as an opportunity to practice patience and observation. A challenging conversation may become a chance to listen deeply without the urge to defend or react. In this way, the quantum state of mental clarity extends beyond the interior world, influencing your interaction with the outer world, creating a feedback loop of calm and clarity. I invite you now to reflect on a moment in your own life when you felt a glimpse of this stillness, however brief. What were you doing? How did you feel? If you recall such an experience, consider sharing it in the comments, because your story might illuminate the path for someone else who's just beginning to explore this terrain. And if you have questions about any of the techniques we've discussed, feel free to ask. Curiosity is a sign that the mind is ready to expand. Before we close, let's revisit the core principles that form the foundation of entering this quantum state. First, cultivate a habit of mindful observation, allowing thoughts to flow without attachment. Second, practice emotional labeling to create distance from reactive patterns. Third, engage in brief periods of deliberate emptiness, giving the subconscious space to surface. Fourth, integrate sensory grounding and simple mantras to anchor awareness. Fifth, experiment with quantum visualization to connect with the deeper intelligence within. By weaving these elements together, you create a tapestry of practices that support sustained mental clarity. Remember that this is not a race. There is no deadline for achieving mastery. The journey itself is the reward, and each moment of presence contributes to the unfolding of a more profound reality. As you walk this path, you may discover that the very act of seeking clarity becomes less about a destination and more about a way of being, a gentle, steady presence that pervades every aspect of your life. If you have found value in this exploration and feel inspired to continue delving into the realms of mindfulness and personal growth, I encourage you to stay connected. Share your experiences, ask questions, and support one another in the comments below. Together, we can create a community that nurtures the quantum state of mental clarity, fostering a collective shift toward greater awareness and inner peace. Thank you for traveling with me through this intricate landscape of mind and consciousness. May your practice bring you the stillness that unlocks infinite possibilities, and may each breath you take be a step toward deeper clarity. Keep observing, keep detaching, and let the portal to your subconscious remain open, inviting the flow of insight and creative brilliance. Until our next conversation, stay present, stay curious, and let the quantum clarity within you shine.